Hey guys, Jake here with Unreal RPG Mastery. In this tutorial for Advanced ARPG Combat, I'm going to teach you how to set up attacking with weapons. There are a few things that you need to do that is different from unarmed combat. I'm also going to show you how to add the different attack types supported in this combat system. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is set up attacking with the light sword. So just open up the data table, which is in Advanced RPG Combat System, data tables, combat montages data table. On the light sword row, under action montages, here for light attack, let's just go ahead and delete them all and add some new ones. I'm going to be using the Protector Pack from the Unreal Engine Marketplace for the light sword animations, so if you want to pick them up, I'll include the link in the description below. Now you need to pick out all the animations you want for the attack combination chain. So I've already done that. I'm going to go ahead and create animation montages out of all of them. I have 5 attacks here, so I'm going to add 5 under light attack here. Now I'm going to select them in the data table. This part is just the same as unarmed combat. Just like unarmed combat, we have to use some of the same animation notifies. So just to make things a little bit easier, go to unarmed combat, action montages under light attack. Let's open up one of the attack montages that we set up. We're going to need a lot of the same ones. Just copy and light sword. We can paste them here on the first attack in the combination chain. We do not need this one, no, unarmed attack notify state, so delete that one. And the one that we're going to need is attack trace NS. When you start this, whenever he starts to swing his sword, and this will last all the way up until he's finished. Play a sound if you want him to have like a sword swinging sound or something like that. And what I'm going to do is have that start about right here. So I'm going to add stop montage right here because I want the montage to stop at this point. This is going to be your cancel window here. Then I want him to be committed to the attack at this point. Then I wanted to start the next attack at this point. So I extend right here. And you can adjust this rotate notify state to be as long or short as you want. You can sort of customize here the rotation interrupt speed. Okay, now I'm going to teach you the differences for setting up attacking with a sword when compared to unarmed combat. So click on the attack trace notify state, and here under the details panel we have some parameters that we can specify for the attack type. So if you want like directional hit reactions to work and directional blocking to work, then what you're going to need to do is set it to whatever direction he's swinging his sword. So this one, he's swinging his sword horizontally right, so that means from right to left. If he's swinging his sword from left to right, that would be horizontal left. So this one is horizontal right. Attack weight. This will be how much weight that you think the attack looks like it should have. So here, I'm going to set it to light attack, hand slot for trace. So this will be whatever hand that he's holding his sword in. In this case, it's the right hand. Okay, now use box trace. What this does is, so by default, the hit detection will be a line trace. And this trace will go from the starting position of the swing to his current position of the swing. But if you select use box trace, then it will be a box trace instead. Situations where you would want to use this box trace is if you have a weapon that you want to have a larger hitbox, then you use the box trace. So basically line traces are better for swings and box traces are better whenever you want the attack to have a larger hitbox. But I think you'll understand better if I show you the differences. To show you the differences between the two, I'm going to enable the debug trace for both the line trace and the box trace. But before I show that to you, let's go ahead and open up Combat System, Blueprints, RPG Game Mode. Let's go ahead and give the character a weapon. Let's give him Steel Sword. So as you can see, this is the line trace. It's doing a trace from start position of the swing to his current position. Let's say in game his sword barely misses the opponent, but you want it to land the attack anyway. So for those types of attacks, you enable the box trace. Let me show you how that one looks. And this is the box trace. As you can see, he is much more likely to hit his target with this box trace. But I'm going to leave this as a line trace, and a line trace is what it uses by default. There's one more notify state that you might want to add, so let's go ahead and insert a new notify track. Right click, under notify state, type in weapon trail NS. That's going to give you a weapon trail. You can specify the weapon trail here that you want to add. By default, this will get the weapon trail from the weapon parent. So if you just want to change the default one, you open up the weapon parent blueprint, click on particle trail, and you can change the default one here. You can also change that in the child classes if you want different weapons to have different particle effects, or you can also change it here if you want to change it here in the details panel, the weapon trail notify state. I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to leave it the way it is by default, which is getting it from the weapon parent. Here you can select the weapon slot for the trail. Is it the right hand weapon or is it the left hand weapon? However, before this, as well as the box trace will work, you're going to need to add sockets to the weapon mesh. So to do that, just open up your weapon mesh, These are going to be the required sockets for all weapon meshes. So what we're going to need is a blade start, blade end, and a middle socket. Blade start and blade end sockets are used for the box trace as well as the weapon trails. The middle socket is less important. It's used for if you're attacking a wall and you're a little bit too close, then you'll have like a knockback animation. You don't really need to add the middle socket if you don't want that knockback to happen when you're hitting a wall. And that's all you need to do to set up an attack for a weapon. Now we just need to copy and paste for all the other tags and adjust the parameters accordingly. Okay, now let's test it out and see how it works. It seems to be working quite well. Attack movement is working. Okay, now let's set up some of the other attack types. Okay, let's set up a dodge attack. Let's just go ahead and delete the one that's already there and add a new one. For this one, I like to use like a thrusting attack. I'm going to go ahead and create an animation montage for it. You can just copy and paste all the animation notifiers that you set up with the other attack animations for this. So here we can set the attack type for this one to thrust attack. Now let's go ahead and select it here. Now let's test it out. Okay, that's working just fine. Now let's set up the heavy attacks. Go ahead and delete the ones that are already set up. Let's add some new ones. Here's the heavy attacks that I wanted to use. And for this one, you can just go ahead and paste the same animation notifies and adjust the parameters accordingly. Okay, for heavy attacks, I like to set the attack weight to heavy. Go ahead and do that for every attack you want to use for heavy attack. Okay, now add all the heavy attack montages to the data table. Okay, now let's test it out. Slide attack. As you can see, heavy attacks work just fine. Now let's add the dash attack. Go ahead and delete the one that's already there. Now go find the dash attack animation that you want to use. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create an animation montage from that. Now all we need to do is paste all the notifiers that we've been using for all the other attack animations. Okay, now select the montage. Go ahead under dash attack. Let's add a new action montage. Now what we need to do is select it here. This attack happens whenever the player character is sprinting. They press the attack button. As you can see, this doesn't look very good, so let's go ahead and customize it a little bit to make it look better. And time to start montage that. So this will be wherever we want this to start. I'd say about right here would be a good place to start it, which means we need to move this here to wherever it starts. Otherwise, it'll never fire. Okay, I believe that's about 0.34, probably 0.24. It's a lot better. Okay, now let's change the weapon art attack. The animation that I used in the overview video for the weapon art attack for the light sword is from Sword and Shield Animset Pro, and the animation name that I use is sword_attack_RD_fast. Let's go ahead and add some animation notifiers. This attack will use all the same animation notifiers that we've been using, so you can go ahead and paste them here and adjust the parameters accordingly. We can also use a different trail for these attacks so they look a little bit different. And the trail that I'm going to use for these attacks is plain primary trail. Select the animation. In order to perform this kind of weapon art attack, you need to be in Punisher mode, and then you need to hold down left control, and then attack. Seems there was a minor mistake with the weapon trails. Go to the weapon parent, and make sure that the particle trail template is plugged into false, and the weapon trail particle from the custom event is plugged into true. What you can also do is add a special sound for this weapon art attack. Okay, now let's test it out. Okay, now let's set up the charge attack. Okay, now go find the animation that you want to use for your charge attack. Let's go ahead and create an animation montage. Now we need to paste all the animation notifiers and set them accordingly. Now select the animation and add it to charge attack. And remember I mentioned from the last video that charge attacks are low priority montages, so if you want the montage to start at a certain point, then you need to use start section name. Do not use time to start montage at for charge attacks. Okay, now let's test it out and see how it works. So you can see charge attack is working just fine. Something I wanted to know about charge attack, if you add multiple charge attacks that won't work, so the system won't really be able to use the other ones, the other animations here. But you actually can set it up to use the different ones if you want to. The easiest way to do that would be to open up the combat player character blueprint. On the attack combinations graph, find the code for charge attack. Here it doesn't really increase the attack count or anything like that. You would need to do some custom code here for this montage index to set up a way to set the montage index to what you want it to be, because this system gets the montages from the data table based on this montage index. This is how it works for all animation montages that the system gets from the combat montages data table and the item data table. So if montage index is set to 0, then it will get the montage from 0 on the data table. If montage index, for example, is set to 1, then we'll get 1 here on the action montage index. So I'm going to get a different animation for charge attack. I'm just going to use this animation as an example. I'm not really going to bother taking any time to set it up properly. I'm just going to show you as an example. So I've selected here montage index 1, not charge attack, and it plays that montage. If I set it to 0, it'll play this montage. So let me show you. And so with that, if you want to play different montages for the charge attack, the easiest way to do it is random integer range. Minimum being 0, maximum being however many animations that you have. Set it to 1. So you can see it works just fine. Now set up in-air attacks. Seems like there isn't one added here, so go ahead and add a new action montage. Here we need to select air attack, and we need to add an action montage here. I'm just going to add 2 animations. You can add more if you want. The air attacks are working just fine.